Hey everybody, it's a great Friday night here. I know we're not in West Virginia, but it's still great. It's great. It's a great Friday. All right, Alexa, stop the music. All right, so perfect. Jamel Owens is here.
1 second. Let me turn the volume up on this computer.
Go ahead, take your time. Take your time. I'll do the introduction while you're doing that. This webinar is made possible by Access Services. Access Services is a nonprofit serving 11 countries in eastern Pennsylvania, counties in eastern Pennsylvania, with the mission to create better ways to serve people with special needs. They have been doing it for 44 years. They've only been expanding as they then bring to benefit needs of those in eastern Pennsylvania.
There you go. Well, everybody, as you can see, it is Friday. We're just excited about today's interview. It's a busy day, but we're here. We're happy about it.
Yes, sir.
And who we have here in person, first off, just because we have this person here, I am thinking about going to work out immediately after this interview. You guys,
You know what? I might go run.
I've been doing it wrong for so many years. And the reason why I say I've been doing it wrong is because this individual, this person, this man has not only taken the odds that are placed against him, but he has also bench pressed them. He has curled them. He has ran laps around them and made it to benefit others. Who does that, So before we get into anything, Ben, go ahead and introduce yourself so the audience can get
Don't forget, Jamel, we have the raffle. We're doing 2 prizes today.
Oh, wait a second. Before anything, I forgot. We do have the raffle. So, Ben, go ahead. Tell them exactly.
I wanted to do the intro for you because I wanted to help you out because you're the man.
Thank you.
We have an Eagles pennant and an Eagles bag and the 2 T-shirts from 2 fans. Shout out to 2 fans in Montgomeryville. I'm thinking I should throw a gift card in here. I'm throwing lucky tonight, maybe a Tony Roni's.
Ben, going all out today, man.
Yeah, and then the other one we have is just a pennant from 2 fans, and then a Bryce Harper shirt. I know the Phillies are not in it, and it's sad, but just to let you guys, and then you know what? I'm throwing even more lucky. I'm gonna give you because I feel like I'm Ellen, and I love Ellen so much. I'm gonna give you $10 gift certificate to Philly Pretzel Factory.
What? Oh my! Listen, I don't know what's going on and what's gotten into Ben. Obviously, it's the season to give.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. Thanksgiving is coming up, so it's a season to be thankful, and it's a season to give. And Ben must be feeling that fever right now.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. Everybody, we're going to be picking out 2 winners of this actual webinar, so stay tuned. Ben, you had something to say before you go into your bio about yourself?
Yes, I just wanted to say we are so grateful for this. I just want to – about 2 fans. Sorry. Before if you want to go to 2 fans and the shirt doesn't fit in your size, they can change it out for you, and you can do like an extra large or any size you need to fit your size. So if that's too small for you, they can get you another size up.
There you go. There you go. Shout out to 2 fans. Let me straighten up this computer. I don't look as handsome as Ben. I gotta work the camera a little bit more. But shout out to 2 fans for supplying the prizes, being a sponsor for this evening. It fits. Everything fits into what we're actually going to talk about. So Ben, briefly go into who you are. So just in case there are some new people on here, they'll know exactly who you are.
So my name is Ben Hartranft. I'm a 22-year-old on the autism spectrum. I was diagnosed when I was 2, and doctors thought I had a hearing issue. So they took me to the doctor, and they thought everything was going to be okay. When I was 3, child should only know 200 words, but I only knew 20. A speech therapist taught me how to talk, and today I just talk, and there's no off button on me. I was on Ellen, carried the trophy, and I am an amazing advocate for autism.
There you go. You are an amazing advocate for autism, and he is so humble and modest when it comes down to him saying that he doesn't know how to be quiet when talking. Ben is an extraordinary person. If you do get to meet him in person, you will grow attached just like that. Just like my son has. Everybody has. So a little bit about myself real quick, because we don't want to keep you guys in suspense, but my name is Jamil Owens. I am a awesome father to a 12-year-old boy named Shane. Shout out to Shane. What's up?
Yes,
What's up, baby boy? What my role is here basically is to empower fathers, but most importantly, empower men to speak up and speak out when it comes down to autism. What happened with me was that I didn't have an outlet. I didn't know how to process my feelings. I went through a lot of Shane's growth, just not knowing how I felt about it. So that's why I made the platform The Awesome Show. And The Awesome Show is basically that platform to give fathers a chance to speak out, a chance to speak up and listen also to other individuals, both male and female, within the autism community, to give insight about feelings, regrets, depression, everything you can possibly think of, we cover. So I had Ben and his dad on, Glenn, on the show. They were my first guests on The Awesome Show. And what an amazing show. After that, we kept in contact. And during COVID-19 being furloughed, Ben gave me a call and was like, hey, I want to start a show.
Yeah, like this.
And I said, hey, yeah, let's do it. So here we go. What's this, 27? This is 27 shows?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, 27, actually 28, because 27 we got to retape. So 28 shows in since the beginning of COVID-19. I mean, it's an amazing run. We're going to continue going at it well into 2021. We're looking forward to it. But that's a little bit about myself. And today's guest, who is he? The poster boy. Us real Eagles fan know what it is to be the underdog. That person that you just sit there and be like, they're never going to do it. They're never going to make it. Ben knows. I know. Everyone in Philadelphia definitely knows, and we always rank top. What we know as a gym enthusiast, or AKA a gym rat, cannot be compared to what our guest has overcome and pursued. Let's meet the man that in our eyes is the strongest man. This is nothing compared to this guy. The strongest man that we know, both physically, mentally, and also spiritually. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Fleming.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you. Thank you for
Good to
coming
see
out. I'm so happy.
I like
Yes.
that. Physically fit. I like.
Thank you.
Okay. I feel like I'm out of breath now. Okay, I'm ready for the first question. There you go. I'm ready. So, Mark, first, let the audience know what you're currently doing for a living, and please explain what brought you to this.
Yeah, sure. So I am the owner and operator of Equally Fit, which is a fitness studio in Tampa, Florida, that works with individuals with disabilities. What got me kind of to this in short terms is that I was, after my master's degree in exercise science, I started working with applied behavior analysis. And with that, along with coaching Special Olympics, I found that there was an activity gap between the children that were going through OT and PT and then the adults that were in their 30s and 40s just getting into Special Olympics. And so from that point, I knew I worked well with individuals with disabilities through my job, and I knew that I had the knowledge to be able to put to use to help these individuals become more physically active. So I kind of just loaded up my car with exercise equipment and started in home. From there, it progressed pretty quickly, and within 2 years, 3 years now, I have my own studio. So that's a little short summary.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, first off, you said a key word there. I got a little shock there, but nonetheless, master's degree.
Yeah.
That whoo, listen,
Man.
I'm trying to get on your level.
That's
Master's
crazy.
degree. I can only fathom that. But 3 years, just basically pack up, put it in your trunk, and just roll out with it. And it's crazy too, because I know a good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. He actually started his workout training exercise program just like you, just basically some equipment in the trunk. He'll drive to clients. He'll help them work out. And now he has a successful business that he's actually running. So it's amazing to actually see that, you know, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy that, you know, you can honestly say 3 years strong. That's amazing. Hopefully it'll be some more. I'm sure, Mark, this wasn't an easy journey for you. As anyone owning your own business, it comes with a lot of no's and people not believing in you. I think it's incredible that you pushed through that. Can you tell me why or what made you keep pushing? And with health is wealth. It's a true statement. Keeping your body strong means basically your mind is strong and your spirit is even stronger. I love that you recognize that there is nothing to do after the OT and the PT, because that's real important. I've noticed that in my son's growth, after he's done with that, I mean, it's being substituted with gym, but it's still a lack of, because as you can imagine, the teacher has numerous amount of students that he or she needs to, you know, monitor. So there's not that one-on-one connection. Do you believe that what you're doing, first off, makes a difference? That's the first question. And then the second one is, you know, why or what made you keep pushing? So those are the two questions that I have for you.
So the first question, does a client losing 112 pounds, is that good enough? And since COVID started, that just happened recently.
Wow.
I got a kid that was not me, that was this close to having surgery, and he was only 12 years old at the time.
Wow.
Very intensive surgery, and within a year and a half, the doctor was like, "Oh, he's fine." So to me, those accomplishments, seeing these individuals strive to better themselves, because if you're in the exercise business, it's not about what I can do. It's about what these individuals are doing. I'm just giving them a little bit of knowledge so that they can strive on their own. If they need a little help, I'll push them. But for the most part, I'm just giving them the instruction and like, hey, this is how you can do it. And through understanding and trusting me, they're making strides. So all those health benefits are completely amazing, and what makes it worth it. To keep it up, I'm just always been persistent. I was told I wouldn't really graduate high school.
Wow.
Did that. I was told I wouldn't stay at Alabama. Did that. I ended up joining a fraternity my senior year of college because of grades and everything. But people were telling me that I would never get my grades up, you know, and so every turn I've had people telling me no, you know, and when you grow up with feeling no, you can do something. Well, you only have one option. Is it proven? Is it movement? You know, you can't sit there and say, well, my life is going to be this way, because you can improve your life, you know. Because I was told I wouldn't play sports.
Wow.
Because my fine motor skills were so bad.
Wow.
You know, and I was a letterman for 3 sports, 3 years out of my high school career. So I mean, there's just numerous instances where I was told no or wasn't allowed to get that kind of reinforcement that, yeah, you can do it, to where I had to build that reinforcement within myself. So anywhere there's a little dip in whatever business wise, whatever, it always goes back to, well, I've done A, B, C, D, E all by myself. So there's no reason why I can't do this.
Wow. Yo, that's amazing. I mean, you shut up a lot of people just by your answer. I mean, you know, you epitomize basically what Nike has been trying to do, you know, their slogan, just do it. You know, it's amazing. You know, you sit there and people doubt you, and you use that as your fire. And it's amazing. You know, just about every show, every movie, everything that you watch, it's almost like a scripted movie. You know, they say use that hurt and that pain to elevate you and push you, and you done just that. Yes. And instead of actually harboring that and continue to push on your own, now you're actually helping others. Mm-hmm. It's like you're still keeping that pain and that fire, and you're just using it to actually help other people who may not have that in them, and you're bringing it out of them. So it's simply amazing to hear that. Your story is motivating, Mark. Definitely a motivation story.
I had a question for Mark. I know this is going to be off topic, but I'm somebody who's on the spectrum who has gained weight and needs a lot of help, and I need to do what I need to do. So do you have any tips on like how I could be successful instead of gaining more pounds, to teach me what to do? Because my brother's teaching me, but I want to learn from him that I can know what to do in many different ways.
Good question.
The first thing is just get started. The biggest problem most people have is that they'll go too quick, too heavy, too much.
Yep.
And it will give the body and brain these responses like, oh, you need to stop doing this, because we're so used to a sedentary lifestyle that our brain just naturally is just like, oh no, we're not going to do this. So just starting a little bit and understanding that, hey, if I do 5 minutes today, well, that's still better than yesterday where I did 0 minutes. Exactly. If I do 6 minutes the day after that, then I'm still improving. Most people think, oh, I got to go to CrossFit or I got to run a marathon or all these big ideas. And where people really are is a lot lower, you know? And so you have to come to that realization that, hey, as long as I'm doing a little bit better every day and trying my best, because you're going to have days where you're probably not going to want to go. Yeah. And you got to understand that's okay to have those days.
And sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say that I wanted to give a shout out to Dan, because Dan has been working really hard with me. He's been a great brother, a great role model, and a great job coach. He teaches me things that I think that would help me. We do a workout every morning. We do the same routine. I stretch. I do 60 calf raises, 30 push-ups. I apologize. 60 seconds of bicycle, 60 seconds of planks. And then we do squats, 60 squats, 60 sit-ups, next, and then we do kick downs. And it's going to help me. And he created that workout for me so I can know what to do in different ways.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's really good. That's really good for you. So just keep it up.
Yeah.
You also got to remember that just because you're working out doesn't mean you need to eat more.
Right? Yes, thank you. Because I need to work on the snacking.
That's where most people get confused, is that they'll work out and their brain will tell them you need more food. When in all reality they were eating enough in the first place. So you need to kind of work against that, because the brain kind of sets mechanism up to where, oh, well, the body used up all this energy, so I need to intake more, when the brain, because the brain's trying to create homeostasis, right? And so if you're in a deficit, it's going to want you to eat more so that it stays where it was. But in all reality, that's not going to do any well, because if you increase your calorie intake while you're working out, guess what's going to happen? That scale is going to rise. You're going to get a bigger number. And so people are going to see that and then be like, oh no, I'm gaining weight. Yeah. I need to stop. And that's not true, because the reality is gaining muscle mass that is adding to that weight instead of losing the fat. So and it takes a lot of time to lose weight initially, because building up muscle, which weighs, and he is still trying to not. Uh, so you're kind of working against that function in your brain, and so you just got to stick with it,
Yeah,
because
I
a
agree.
lot of people gain a little bit of weight and quit, and they're over the where the muscles start burning all that.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mark. Nutrition and stuff. Maybe you could be my nutritionist.
I'm not certified as a nutritionist. You might want to find someone that is. I
No,
follow.
I meant for like how do I say it? Like how can we do to do in ways and stuff.
Cool. Just reach out to me and we'll come up with some stuff. Okay.
There you go. There you go. Ben, you got question number 3, man.
Okay, you worked training some clients who went on to win medals for Special Olympics. Appointed by the mayor to part of the Tampa Autism Friendly Advisory Board. What else have you what else do you have up your sleeve?
Oh, geez. Outside of those two recently, not much besides just running the business. But I've won intramural indoor soccer league. But outside of those accomplishments and the normal ones like graduating with masters and stuff like that, not much. But the Special Olympics, I do want to put a little bit, is that every single athlete that I either coached or trained ended up in the States, all got gold but one.
Wow.
And the one that didn't get gold got silver because the other one got gold.
Wow.
So, and that was basic training stuff because of we're big on volunteer, and I was a professional volunteer, so I had a little upper hand in some of those things, but because those the individuals don't get to accomplish much because most people don't in them. And so when they accomplish like getting gold at Special Olympics, it's the world to them. And that was the best in the world because technically I could play, and it was more meaningful to help others.
Mark, listen. I'm speaking from an individual that started working out when I was 18. So I was a fat kid. I'm telling you, like, my diet was horrible. Glazed donuts, a whole dozen I would eat. Sunkist soda, I would drink the liter. Then I would have a whole bag of peanut chews. It was just horrible, horrible, horrible. I had a lot of anger, depression, a lot of things early in childhood because of life. Just putting it out there. And one day I just got in me, was like, yo, I got to channel this. And I remember one exercise I used to do, and that was in the summertime when I was living with my mom. I would shut all the doors and the windows. This is a bad idea. Do not try this at home. People, don't do this.
I won't do this at home, Jamal. I promise.
Don't do this. Now that I think about it, it's horrible. But I shut all the doors. I kept the heat in, and I ran up and down my steps. Just kept on running, at least for 5 minutes straight. Hydrated, ran. When I tell you I lost that weight, it came off immediately like this. I don't know what got into me. So then, first time I went to the gym, I was completely scared. And you could probably talk about this because I'm sure some of our awesome individuals, even those that are not on the spectrum, the first time you're in the gym, you don't know what's going on. You got people in there, you got a whole lot of clangs and bangs, and you got equipment everywhere. You don't really know what it is, but you know that you have a mission, you have a purpose. Now, our awesome individuals, they're just so competitive. So competitive. My son, I ran with him, and I knew he was tired this one day. I knew he was tired. And I was like, hey, Shane, do you want to stop? And I mean, tired. Like, I knew he was winded. And he looked at me and was like, no, Daddy, let me just get a rest, and we're going to keep on going. So it's, I just go back to individuals just like Ben, who has his own exercise program, thanks to his brother, who keeps at it, and there's so many individuals out there for our audience that are listening. Your child can participate in exercises. It doesn't mean that, they're just completely, it's useless or it's no point. Our children need to exercise.
Yes.
It's very vital for their health, for their mental conditioning. Is that correct, Mark? I'm sure you could probably quote on that. It helps with their thinking and their cognitive
during the day. Yeah.
their cognitive motions, correct?
Yes. I actually, like I stated to you earlier, is that one of my research papers in grad school was on autism and exercise. And so there's vast numerous amounts of benefits for exercising for individuals with autism, and improving executive function is one of the bigger ones. That and reducing stimming behavior, because even though stimming is good, doing it all day is counterproductive. And so if you can reduce that stress that causes stimming behavior, and maladaptive behavior as well reduces. So if you can reduce those behaviors to where they're participating in school and they're learning more and they're just doing more throughout their day, well, then their lives are better off. And so obviously you don't want to work out like nonstop all the time and blah, 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 or use it as punishment or anything like that. But find something that is enjoyable and rewarding for that person, and they can improve in every aspect of their life. Because one of the biggest things that exercise does in the first 8 weeks, it doesn't build muscle. It actually builds that brain to muscle connection. And so this isn't been proven, but I do believe that if you can improve it through that way, I think a lot of the sensory stuff can improve a little bit as well. There's just not too much way to prove whether or not that works, but yeah, there's tons and tons of benefits for individuals with autism.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for clarification. It was just something that I came, across my mind, just hearing about all the progress that you've been seeing, and just your words and your, your knowledge that you have about this. It's just amazing. And I see this, in my life too, just really just going in on the different exercises that I did. So, and hearing about Ben too, simply amazing. Ben, you got a question?
Yes. And I like what you said about like how we could be amazing. I wanted to say one more thing before we get to the next question.
Go ahead.
I'm thankful for Special Olympics, because the families ahead of us, they would know about different things that are out there to help people with services and pick their brains on financial stuff. So that's why I'm just thankful for them, so we can pick their brains. And there's like Special Olympics basketball, Special Olympics baseball, soccer, football, whatever you name it, swimming. And it's just a great organization, because it's like a way to get connected with families.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct with that statement. And thank you for that, Ben, because, your input, you seeing it from a different perspective, man, it means a lot to me and to other individuals that are watching this. So definitely some good perspective on that. Appreciate that, man. You got the question, man. You got the floor, man.
Yes, sir. Here we go. What can you say to the person who is watching this right now, who has dreams just like you, but is afraid? What people will say or afraid to or of reject? What can you say to motivate them?
There you go.
It's a tongue twister.
Yes, it was. I think the easiest thing is that if you fail, it's not the end. Falling down isn't a bad thing. The more you fall down, the more you get put in the right direction.
Ooh, I like that.
My journey to where I am working with individuals with disabilities wasn't just a simple line. I always wanted to train athletes. I wanted to train top level athletes. But the universe had different plans for me, and it gave me those hints. And every time I told the universe, I don't think I'm going to do that, guess what happened? I failed.
Oh, and okay.
I failed. I failed because I wasn't made to train top level athletes. I truly believe that I'm doing what I was meant to be doing, and that it literally got to the point where I was about to move out all the way to California or Arizona after grad school.
Wow.
And due to miscommunication between me and my grad school, there was 3 hours left that I needed. And so I couldn't get a certification I wanted because I went in a spiral. I ended up back home. It put me in a pretty dark place. But once I saw that need, that's when I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it, because I really did like working with individuals with disabilities. But growing up, there was always a negative connotation that A, it's not worth the money, and B, like, there's no recognition, you're not being applauded, and there's little people liking what you do. And so even going through school, it was still, everybody was going, to OT, PT, training athletes, all these other places. And so,
because they used to take you out of your classroom or lunch period to go to speech or OT, and I liked that, but I didn't like that a lot because I wanted to be where the kids are, because I wanted to be interactive and stuff. That was hard. Like, if it was like a reading or math class, I'd be like, yay! But it was like frustrating because my speech therapist is whoever's out there. I don't want to name all of them, but it's just like it would be boring if I just say all their names.
I get that, Ben. I actually have a story to that I was pulled out in second grade due to my test taking ability was too slow.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be with all my friends. So guess what I did that year? I sped up my test taking skills so much that when I was in grad school, I finished tests before doctorate candidates. Talk about a stressful situation, is that you're wondering if you did anything wrong because all these doctorate students are taking 15-20 minutes longer on their tests than you. You're like, oh no, I got it wrong. And so that was really rewarding, but I completely understand that wanting to be with everybody.
Wow. Yeah, and growing up like in elementary school, middle elementary school, the school, and I failed, Mark. I failed. The school basically gave up on me and they said, you're never gonna read. But I proved them wrong, and I learned how to read. It was just, I'm so thankful for the people in my life that could teach me different ways. Going through middle school was really easy and challenging. High school was actually challenging. I had to do special ed, learning support, math, special ed, English and reading, and I had to do paper pencil tests. It wasn't like no other way, but it was frustrating. But I had the confidence of doing it. You just have to be like Jason Kelsey, for example. Like he would hike the football. You know how many times Jason Kelsey practiced that play over and over again? 1,000 times. That's what my dad told me.
You're right.
You know? Thousands of times. Yeah.
That's right. He definitely is right. Like, once again, Mark, like your inspiration obviously is deeply felt, not only for me, not only for those people who are going to watch, but also Ben too. And it's amazing to see that, because once again, that don't know, that write people like Ben off. They even write people like me off. We have so many similar characteristics, also overcome them similar forms. But just because we have a label on individuals like my son, like Ben, we just write them off. We just say, oh, well, it is what it is. They are who they are. Hopefully they'll have a good life. And that's not true. They're going to have a fantastic life. The reason why is because they never give up. They never stop trying. And it's amazing to hear the conversation between you and Ben. I can just only imagine, with, just speaking with my son in a couple of years. Hopefully I get him into football, because he's beefing up pretty nice. He's a little stocky kid. So I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping.
I'm going to his games.
You go.
I hope he plays for the Eagles, Jamel.
Listen, if he plays for the Eagles, I would be ecstatic about that. I would love that. As long as he's doing something that he loves at the end of the day, I'm going to be in love with that. That's the major thing. But since we love the gym, and my half brother, hopefully we can get him involved in that. He seems to like it. So we hope we can definitely get him involved in that. Question 5, Ben. You got that one.
I got you.
You got the floor, man. You got the floor tonight.
Okay. You leave a lot of fitness tips on your social media account. How can they follow you, and are you available to answer questions?
Nice.
Yes, I am available to answer questions. I'm also on Facebook at Equally Fit. And you can go to our website at equallyfit.com, find my email address. I'll answer questions. I do virtual, so no matter where you are, I can train you. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area, you can come stop by the gym. And so, yeah.
Nice.
Those are.
Hey, oh, wow.
Nice. So, Mark, I got a question. Go ahead, Ben, because I know you got something in your mind. Go ahead.
I think I asked you this before, but do you like roller coasters? Because I know there's Busch Gardens up there. I know Disney's up there in Orlando. I think you're 2 hours from Orlando, but do you like roller coasters?
Yes, I do. It's been a very long time, though, because when you own your own business, you don't have a lot of time to do anything but the business. So, but yeah, I really like roller coasters. I used to not like roller coasters due to the proprioceptive stuff that I just couldn't do upside down for some reason. But once I reached 14, 15, we had seasonal passes or annual passes to Busch Gardens. So I go on days where no one was there and just go around like 15 times in a row. I knew where the camera was, so I just treated it as a little photo shoot, just pose every time.
That's like me at Six Flags. I'm like, I'm on the spot, and I go, oh, there's the camera.
Yeah.
Jamel, I know you don't like roller coasters.
Nope. See, he was getting.
Oh, I can't believe it.
No, listen, no.
Listen. Does Shane like roller coasters?
Shane actually does like roller coasters.
We need to go to Six Flags. We need to find a day to go to Six Flags.
Yeah, it might be just you and him, because I really.
You can come watch the bags if you want.
Exactly. I'll be the coat holder and everything else. That's my job. That's
all enough. Yeah, we'll talk later. But seriously, we got to take Shane to Six Flags. Oh my gosh. Seriously.
So, Mark, just like Ben here, you're an inspiration to him, to me, to a lot of people just actually watching this interview. Now, like I mentioned before, I have concerns, I have thoughts, just like a lot of our awesome fathers out there, about our sons, about our daughters, actually just being, productive in life, and being physical is one of them. What would be the advice that you would give to a father that wants their child to start getting active, but doesn't know how to start or where to start at? What would be your advice to them?
Just start small. Find things online. Find qualified individuals online, because Instagram's probably one of the worst places to find fitness advice, and online's tricky, but there's tons of advice out there to get started. And I mean, it's just slow steps, just because someone may not be able to do a push-up right now doesn't mean they can't gain the strength later on. And there's different exercises that can help with that so that you can get to that point. Um, there's numerous amounts of cardio you can do and do together. Like, one of the biggest things you can do as a parent is get physically active yourself.
There you go.
Because if your child sees you active and happy, guess what they're going to do? They're going to model that behavior.
Yep.
And so that's the biggest thing is try to get active yourself, because guess what? If you're active, you're in your life longer. And you can't beat that. You can't beat, you're not just living for yourself, right? You're living for them.
Exactly.
And so you have to be as healthy as you can as well, because they won't have to rely on you their whole lives, but they don't want to, no one wants to lose their parent at a young age, So you have to do what we're preaching right now to individuals with autism. You have to get fit yourself, because there's so many diseases and conditions that people get nowadays that you can easily prevent just by exercising.
True. Facts. Definitely. 100%. I guess once again, the proof is in the pudding. My son seeing me take an interest in the gym, it was like, when he became of age in order to go to the gym with me, when I got him in there with me, he was just happy. He wanted to do every machine that daddy did. And, I tried to push him, but I also watched his limits, but he never gave up, he never gave up, which is an amazing thing. So, you know what, once again, you proving yourself right. Kids are sponges, regardless if they're on the spectrum or not. They're going to mimic and they're going to imitate everything you do. That's why it's important as fathers, I'm speaking to the fathers right now, is to really set a good example. Be a good role model for your child in everything that you do. Your child is watching, regardless if you think they are not. So everything that you do should be in the betterment of that child. So you're doing something, yes, to better yourself, but also to set the example for the future on how your child should handle different situations. So it is hand in hand. I can definitely see that and contest to that. And this is a remarkable thing. Now, last question before we open up the floor to any other questions. I'm just going to go off ad lib with this, looking at, some of the notes and everything that I jotted down, is that you opened up a bird's eye view as wide as the world when it comes to fitness, when it comes down to autism, when it comes down to those with, ailments, physical ailments. What has your thought changed about really the term disability? Like, instead of let people see the word disability and automatically shoot towards someone that's in a wheelchair, someone that's missing a leg, someone that can't talk, someone that's missing arms, individuals that's on the autism spectrum. What is your understanding now that you've been in business for 3 years? You've been living this, eat, sleep, wake up this. What is a disability to you? What would you consider that?
It's just a term. It's just a term. It may mean you have some certain limitations, but at the end of the day, no one's going to be able to limit what you may or may not be able to do. That's actually part of my process in intaking, is that I get to know the individual as much as I can, because no matter how much I know about autism, how much I know about exercise, any other sort of disability, I do not know that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the process should start, is getting to know that person, because a lot of doctors, and especially with physical disabilities, tell people, oh, you can't do this.
Yep.
Well, that's mainly for their liability reasons. It's not because the person physically can't do it. And more times than not, the person can actually do it. It's just they may need to be more careful. Who knows? Like, that's why you need to sit down with the person, because if someone has a disability to where you're looking at them like, I don't think they can do this, well, you're limiting your options, right? Especially as a personal trainer. I don't think someone can do something based off of just their disability and not other factors, then I'm limiting their progress. I'm limiting my mind as a trainer to how I can help them. And that's how I view it, because I don't think we need to really focus too much on changing terms or making it unique abilities or ability. It doesn't matter to me, because at the end of the day, it's about helping people. Terminology can come second.
There you go. My man. Amazing answer. I like that. Definitely do. So we're going to open up the floor to any possible questions from any of the people, our audience attending. If you have questions for Mark, you can go ahead and ask them. We just ask for you to be respectful at this time. If someone is speaking, go ahead and just wait your turn. If you have background noise, just place yourself on mute, and then you can go ahead and speak after it. So you could go ahead and ask questions to Mark if you would like. Floor is open.
Hey, Mark, this is Andy. I'm really curious motivation and how you can keep somebody motivated when they start to really frustrated.
Well, it depends on the individual. First off, is that everybody has their own different motivators and stuff like that. But the goal for any kind of exercise routine is lifelong. And so you have to be in it for the long haul. So if someone's getting frustrated one day, well, you can pull back a little bit that one day, knowing that, hey, the next day we need to maybe go a little bit more, because it's about lifelong. And so if you can get an individual to do just a little bit more, or have a off day, like, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as there's still some movement forward. And obviously, do not use food as motivator. That is not right. I try to not have any motivators outside of just exercise. There's so many times. Just the other night, I had a client literally on the floor having a meltdown 30 minutes out of the session.
Wow.
But he came back because I wasn't pushing him. I wasn't demanding. I was just sitting there with him like, hey, whatever, you're here. Because in reality, in that situation, most people don't go to the gym. And if they're not going to the gym, that's half the battle, right? Is just going there. Yep. And so if you go there and just do a little bit, well, you're doing a whole lot better than your neighbor.
You're right.
So my husband was wondering, as far as motivators go, we often turn to food as like rewards. What other things can you use to motivate that aren't food related?
That depends on the individual as well, right? Because for me, it's being physically active. I love it, and so I have to work, even though it's hard during the time. Like, I have to be active. There are days where I'm off, and I have to just not work out, and my brain's going crazy. Yeah. So it really depends on the person. Whatever they feel motivated for, whether it's a small gift or working, say, hey, you work out 5 days out of the week, you can get a video game at the end of the week, or stuff like that. Simple reinforcement techniques that you can use for almost any kind of behavior modification. And once you get to a certain point, though, the exercise becomes its own reinforcer. Yep. Because it releases dopamine in the brain. The brain's like, man, I want to keep doing this. I want this. I want this. I want this. Because, like I said, the brain's trying to keep homeostasis at first, when it really does want that exercise. We haven't evolved past our hunting and gathering stage yet. So we need to kind of push ourselves a little bit. And if you need to start off with, hey, you work out today, you get more time on your iPad or whatever, like whatever works. Just understand that if there's pushback towards that, that's okay, you know, and you'll find kind of the sweet spot that works, because food is definitely counterproductive. Working ABA, I dealt with tons and tons of candy, and I was just sitting there like, I'll never do this.
Yo, definitely food. You know, you go to places like, you know, certain gyms and they have food there waiting for you after your workout. It's like, well, you know, why did I even come to the gym for? You know, was it really for the meal, or was it really to use the equipment? But we're not going to get into that. You know, it is what it is, but it's really
not name dropping, right?
Yeah, we're going to keep that. You know, we're going to keep that out of it. But I think people get the point. Definitely another great question. Any more questions?
I more just had a comment. Hey, this is Kaylee.
Hey.
I think it's personal training's awesome because there's a person there with you. I think that can help. Like if you have someone with you to kind of usher you on. For like I did team sports, so like I know the feeling. I can imagine if people didn't do team sports, it would be hard because they're not used to that cheer, rah kind of feeling, you know, where you're just pushing each other, you fall down, you're like, no, get up, and you pick them up, you know. I find like having another person working out with you can be motivating, especially it like passes the time faster too because you can talk.
Yeah.
But like on days when I'm not wanting to be social, I actually have a couple dogs and I'll like walk them, and they could be motivators too. So I think a pet can be a pretty good motivator as well, because then they're like looking at you and they're like, I want to go outside, and then you'll take them outside and go for a walk.
Yeah, true. Definitely.
Yeah, I've had that happen with a client before, is that once they got a dog, he started walking more. So his endurance picked up. But one of the best things with my clients with saying that being with a personal trainer helps is that once I get them talking, which some people take longer than others, towards the end of this session, they're like, what time is it? I'm like, we got about 10 minutes. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you're just conversing, because you don't realize you're having fun, you're conversating. I mean, I had a kid recently just figured out that, hey, if I talk, this goes by quicker, you know? And once he got that aha, guess what he's doing now? He's talking the whole session. Wow. Because it takes away that time, and you're motivated to come out of those breaks to get it done so that you can go back to the next break and talk, you know? And so, yeah, that's a great point, is especially when someone is like you, right? I'm actually going to be mentoring one of my clients starting later this month. Cool. Because of the bond. You know, you create these bonds with these people, and that really helps as well, because they're like, oh man, I want to go see this person. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a client that's been with me for 3 years, almost almost since I started.
Wow.
And he could go to a gym himself, to be completely honest. But he decides to come to me because he's technically a friend. You know, he's someone that we conversate, we talk about our lives, we debate topics, like
Nice.
we do all this stuff while he's working out.
Nice.
And even though, I mean, I would still hang out with him if he chose to leave, but I know that that's a big motivator, and you have to find the right person though. Not everybody clicks. I've had people where I don't click with them, I don't click with their parents, and that's something you just got to deal with. You know, it's not a one size fits all type thing.
Definitely. I mean, that's with anything in life. You just, interpersonal skills and relationships, you either click with somebody or you don't. So definitely understandable in that. Great question. If anybody don't know who Kaylee is, she is our wonderful assistant. Shout out to Kaylee. She had to get her question out there. So great to hear her voice. Nobody ever sees her, but great to hear her voice. But great question, Kaylee. Any more questions? Any other questions from anybody tuning in tonight?
Hey guys, I don't actually have a question, but
Hi, Haley.
hey Ben, how are you?
Good.
So I have a sister who's on the spectrum, and I have two cousins who are on the spectrum. I only have two cousins, and they're both on the spectrum. And I was thinking about like my sister and one of my cousins. Both of them, like when they're trying something new, they get frustrated very easily, and they really need a lot of support in order to, persist and be able to keep going with something. So I feel like the model of having a personal trainer for somebody on the spectrum could be really good, because it's like instead of having to go to the gym and be by yourself, or even, I mean, I'm not on the spectrum, but if somebody gives me an exercise plan, like I'm not motivated to do it. Like I have never kept up with like an exercise plan ever, so I can only imagine it would be that much harder. So I'm sure that having somebody like one-on-one would be really helpful.
Definitely.
Haley, I have a question for you.
Sure.
How old is your sister?
My sister is 17.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is she in high school? What school is she at?
Yeah, she's in high school, but she lives in they live kind of near Hershey, so she doesn't
Okay,
go
so
to school around
right
here.
near Hershey Park. Yeah. So I know what that is. Yeah.
Yep.
Great perspective on that. I mean, once again, just like you said, it's not just, we're not just talking about individuals on the spectrum too, just, people that are, not on the spectrum suffer from that as well. I suffer from that, when I was first in the gym, and even going back after, I tore my ACL, it was like, oh, okay, I can't do this. I get frustrated and then I leave because I'm not at where I once was. So it's just a gradual step, and you just take your time and you get right back to where you was. Before long, I was, but it was that frustration at first. So just imagine individuals that's on the spectrum just going in there, the frustration levels. But that's when a good partner or a good trainer comes into play, because they're going to motivate them. So that's a very, very, very good point. Something that, speaks volumes among everybody.
Yeah, and you got to think a lot of gyms aren't set up for individuals with autism either right now.
Exactly.
Right? That adds to the frustration where you have all these lights, all these sounds, all these different people, all these different smells, right? Because everybody stinks in the gym because they're working out hard.
Yeah.
And so even for me, it's overwhelming to be even in a normal gym sometimes. That's why I set up my gym the way it is to kind of take away all of those. So when we're learning about working out, that we're just focused on what we're doing, A, and B, it isn't a bad experience from a sensory standpoint, because I know going to the University of Alabama's gym was a mess. It was a nightmare because of all the sensory stuff. I mean, my eyes dart around when things are moving, you know.
Yeah.
I think my eyes have ADD or something because they're just always moving in those gyms because I'm like, what's going on? Because that anxiety, social anxiety kicks into, I have to know what everybody's doing so that if anything happens, even though it's not going to happen, well, now I know where all these people are, even though it doesn't make any sense for me to know where those people are.
Yeah.
But my gym takes away all that kind of stress from sensory so we can learn in a controlled environment so that if they want to go to a gym, then they're capable of learning. And I think that kind of concept can work with everybody. Because gyms are very, very daunting because going to a place and hearing grunts and everybody's in skimpy clothes, you know, and if you're a little overweight, and it can be very, very daunting for anybody.
Yep.
So I think going to fitness studios is probably going to be the way to go after all this COVID stuff.
Probably. I think you might be on to something. Mm-hmm. Definitely do. Well, definitely with that, I mean, you're knowledgeable. You definitely are knowledgeable. You're hitting all the key aspects where I know I had questions about, even though I'm a gym enthusiast, you know, I'm a gym rat. I've been in there for years, but I still wonder because now I'm going into the point of teaching my son certain things. So now I got to think about outside the box on how he can actually effectively complete the range of motion that I'm teaching him in the exercise and be confident about himself while he's actually doing it. So it's amazing. And, you know, I'm learning just from this interview alone. I'm learning a lot, and from your page and your information as far as gym is simply amazing. So I appreciate that. We're going to end with the questions, but now we're going to go into the raffle, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Is it the raffle time? It's the fun part of the show. It's like everybody waits for the raffle. They're like, all right, the guests are great. Ben and Jay is great, but we want the raffle. That's what we want. So, Ben, I'm going to let you go ahead and do that. This is normally Ben's key point. People love Ben.
And the first winner is, you know, I wanted to FaceTime this person because I know her.
Oh.
You want me to FaceTime her? Because I actually know her.
Hopefully she picks up.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, what?
You won.
I won what?
You won a prize.
Oh, I did. Wait.
She's like, what? I did?
So you got an Eagles pennant, and I told you I wanted to get you some Eagles stuff, so there's Eagles gear.
All right. So, Ben, you got to pick. You got to pick that second person.
Okay, that's fine. I got to go, but I just want to tell you congratulations.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Everybody loves Ben. Everybody loves Ben. Ben, good job. You got the second. Go ahead, pick that second person.
The winner is Faith Butterfield.
Nice. Faith, you won.
Yeah, she won this.
Okay. Nice. That's what's up, man. Congratulations, Faith. Congratulations to all our winners. Ben knows one of them. He called her directly because Ben's the man. We just want to say congratulations. Thank you for supporting the Ben and Jay Show. But for those who haven't supported the Ben and Jay Show yet, but would like to know how they would do that, you can actually log on and to Access Services at www.accessservices.org/donate. You can look for the Ben and Jay Show. You can find more information about the show. Donate, become a sponsor, so much more. Don't forget about my man Mark, too. Check him out. He might actually definitely need your donations, your support going into his what we talking about. I'm thinking about 20 years. I'm thinking about 20 years in business, Mark. That's what I'm setting out for you. 20 years in business. He's going to need your support, so definitely support him. Mark, thank you for taking your time out, for being a guest.
Say something real quick.
Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
So I actually have two announcements. First of all, I would like to wish my Uncle John, shout out to my Uncle John. Happy birthday, Uncle John.
Happy birthday, Uncle John.
He's going to be 60 on Sunday, so I hope you have a great day.
All right.
So, happy Happy birthday, John Canis. Hope you have a great day. And also, my dad's birthday is on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Dad. I hope you have a great day. All right, Dad. Wednesdays, I know Wednesday's your birthday, so don't eat too much cake.
There you go. There you go. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Listen, it's a lot of joy, it's a lot of happiness with this show. So we appreciate you, Mark, for bringing all that positive energy. I've been looking forward to this interview all week. To just chop it up with somebody who's a gym rat like myself, and you're doing it for a bigger purpose. So I admire you. Like me and Ben say all the time, you have friends. You have friends on the Awesome Show.
You're a family now, Mark.
You have friends here at the Ben and Jay Show. So, definitely blessings on that. We appreciate you. And Ben, you have first, let me say this before we end anything, but the opinions expressed on the Ben and Jay Show pertain to individual perspectives and do not necessarily represent the stance of Access Services Incorporated and its affiliates. So I just wanted to say that so but Ben, you have some words of encouragement.
Yeah, I just want to say having autism is not a bad thing. It doesn't characterize who we are. Everyone is unique and special, just like a rainbow. I would like to thank Jamel Owens, Mark Fleming, you're the man. I'd like to thank my parents. I would like to thank my brother Dan. Actually, I have another announcement. Stay tuned, October 30th. If you guys are free that day, come out to Water Tower Square Cinema. We are going to do a trick-or-treat drive-by. More details to come, so please keep an eye out on your social media pages, guys. You could potentially get free candy. From the Ben and Jay Show, we'll be handing out free candy. I want candy. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. We should play that song next time.
You definitely will. Hey, listen, guys. I normally, follow up with Ben. I try to, and just give some words of encouragement. But I actually found a video, and this video is simply amazing. So I asked Kaylee if we can upload it and share it. Just watch this. Watch this video.
I was asked to introduce Christopher and give a little bit of a timeline on his life, and it's hard to keep my composure talking about Christopher's story. But he was born in May of 2011. 2001. Thank you. You can tell him, he can do it better than I can. I have to go back a few years, yeah. And his mother was on drugs, Oxycontin and cocaine. And he was a nephew of ours. And we went down to Florida and took him out of the foster care system in August of 2002. And he's been a blessing to our family. And he loves to share his gifts. And this March he was kind of discovered by the Union Leader and all the local media outlets in Boston. And he's been singing a lot of patriotic songs. But to back up a few years, in 2004, Christopher was on his first mission trip with 8 Days of Hope. And at 4 years old, he went down to the front of the music ministry, and they handed him a microphone, and he sang the song he's going to sing tonight, Open the Eyes of My Heart.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and
Man, oh man.
Oh my.
Yo, right. Listen, I don't need to say anything else with that. You guys are missing out if you don't know a person, an awesome individual, whether they're a child, they're an adult, they're a parent. You're missing out on some of the best love in the world. You really are. And that video says it all. So, this is the Ben and Jay Show signing off.
Love you guys.
You guys, nothing but love.
God loves you
guys. Mark, we love you, man. Thank you,
Yes.
our brother, man. Shout us out anytime you need something, man.
Yes,
We
sir.
got your back.
Wow.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yo, thank you for joining us, man. You have a great night.
Thank you.
You too.
For all our attendees, we love you. Ben and Jay Show, we are out. 27 strong. We doing it.
Yes, sir.